A man is swept overboard during a brutal storm. Days later, his co-workers haul in a massive fish, and what they find inside it will haunt them for the rest of their lives. This isn't fiction. It really happened. And once you hear the ending, you'll never look at the ocean the same way again. Around 1 a.m. on August 27, 2000, a fisherman named Sam Watts was fighting to stay upright on the slick deck of a large commercial fishing vessel. He glanced over at his crewmate, Michael Edwards, who was clinging to the mast as the boat rocked violently beneath them. Sam, Michael, and 4 others had just anchored their boat about 56 miles off the northeastern coast of Queensland, Australia. Everything had been calm just an hour earlier. But now a sudden storm had rolled in. The wind was howling, the sea was churning, and while the rest of the crew had gone below deck to get some rest, Sam and Michael stayed topside, trying to secure loose gear before things got worse. With rain lashing their faces and waves slamming against the hull, they decided to split up. Sam would head to the bow, Michael to the stern, and they'd work their way toward the center, checking that all ropes and fastenings were solid. They kept each other in sight the whole time. This kind of work during a storm was dangerous. But at one point, Sam had to crouch down to inspect a knot. In that moment, just a second, he lost visual on Michael. And in that second, a rogue wave slammed into the side of the boat with such force that it nearly capsized. Sam was thrown sideways but managed to grab the railing and hang on. As the boat began to right itself, Sam instinctively turned to check on Michael. Through the darkness and sheets of rain, he saw him just in time as Michael was flung off the side and disappeared into the sea. Michael hadn't managed to grab onto anything. Sam yelled his name, but couldn't see him. He ran below deck, woke the rest of the crew, and within moments they were all on deck, sweeping the ocean with spotlights, calling out through the storm. The captain radioed for help, and soon a police boat was dispatched to their location. As the storm raged on, both the crew and police searched the surrounding waters. They dropped buoys, they shouted into the night. But Michael was gone. No sign, no splash, nothing. The search carried on until midday. Then the police called it. They told the crew what they already knew deep down. Michael had most likely drowned. The crew was devastated. 1 minute he was with them, laughing and working, the next gone. But now they had to make a grim decision. Do they head back to shore, call off the trip entirely, or stay and fish? It seems like an easy answer. Who could keep fishing after something like that? But these kinds of trips are expensive. They'd barely started and had caught nothing yet. Turning back meant a massive financial hit, and for these fishermen, that kind of loss hurt their families back home. So, after a heavy discussion, they agreed they would stay out at sea for 1 more day. Maybe, just maybe, Michael's body would surface and they could bring him back home. That day, they worked the lines, and it turned out to be an unbelievably successful catch. They hauled in giant flowery cod, some 6 feet long, nearly 100 pounds each. It should have been a celebration. But no one was smiling. Their friend was gone. Even as they worked, they kept glancing at the waves, hoping for some sign of Michael. Nothing ever came. After 24 hours, they headed back to port, sold the cod, and returned to their families to grieve. A few days later, at a fish processing plant, one of those massive cod was up on the line. It weighed 97 pounds, one of the ones caught just a day after Michael went overboard. A factory worker took a knife, like they did every day, and sliced the fish open. Then they froze. They stared at the open fish and just started screaming. Inside the stomach of that cod was a human head. Michael's head. The conclusion investigators reached was this: when Michael hit the water, he was still alive. But the area is notorious for saltwater crocodiles and sharks. One, or maybe both, attacked him. During the frenzy, his head was torn from his body and left floating, and at some point, one of those massive cod must have come along and swallowed it whole. The cod was hauled up and processed like any other, but when it was cut open, there he was. Michael's face was still intact, his eyes were wide open, his mouth frozen in a scream. His final moment trapped inside that fish. They never found the rest of Michael. Just his head, wide-eyed, mouth open, trapped in the belly of a fish that never should have caught him. Out there, 50 miles off the coast, the sea didn't just take him. It swallowed him. And if you think that's disturbing, wait until you hear what washed up next. If you enjoyed this story and want more just like it, strange, dark, and unforgettable, then hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Because trust me, the next one, it's even worse.